Good evening, this is TCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ninghoi Kim Khong Sai. First, the headlines. KWOHR and HWA organized mass rally demanding judicial inquiry over killing of 3 Mar youths in Assam's Kachar district. Union Budget 2024 criticized for ignoring Manipur. Kamala Harris ahead of Donald Trump in U.S. presidential race, says survey. The Kuki Women Organizations for Human Rights KWOHR and Mar Women Associations HWA have called for the immediate interventions of Union Home Minister Amit Shah to initiate a Supreme Court Monitor Special Investigation Team (SIT) to probe the alleged extrajudicial killing of 3 youth from the Kuki-Zo community by the Assam police. In a memorandum submitted to the Home Minister, the Kuki Women Organizations for Human Rights and the Mar Women Association highlighted the deaths of Lalung Oy Mar 21, Lalbek Kung Mar 33, and K. Joshua Laring-Sang 35, who were killed in what the organization claimed was a stealth encounter by the Assam police in Kachar district on 16 July 2024. The memorandum details several grave violations of fundamental and human rights, asserting that the Assam police criminalized the youths without trial and failed to follow due process. Key points of the memorandum include unclear charges and arrest procedures. The organization states that it remains unclear under which section of the law the deceased were arrested and subsequently killed. The police allegedly did not inform the individuals of the reason for the arrest, violating Article 21, Section 1 of the Constitution. Failure to produce before magistrate. The Assam police did not produce the deceased before a magistrate within 24 hours, violating legal procedures and killing the individuals in police custody unlawfully. Lack of notifications to families. Families of the deceased were not informed about the arrest. Learning of the deaths through social media, which violates Article 22, Section 2 of the Constitution. Denied legal aid. The deceased were allegedly denied their right to consult legal aid, despite spending the night at a police station. Contradictory evidence. Videos circulating on the internet show the youths cooperating with the police and later being harassed, while blindfolded and with their hands tied. This evidence contradicts police claims that the deaths occurred during a crossfire exchange with militants, violations of fundamental rights. The memorandum highlights that the victims were denied the right to equality and a fair trial, protected under Article 14 and 21 of the Constitution. The Kuki-Zo women are urging the formation of a Supreme Court-led SIT to ensure an impartial investigation, citing concern about potential threats or bribes that could influence the outcome if handled by local authorities. They emphasized that a Supreme Court monitor investigation would maintain the integrity and credibility of the process and act as a deterrent against similar abuses of police forces across the country. The memorandum concludes with a plea for justice for the victims and their families, asserting that protecting citizens from unethical activities and abuse of power is essential for maintaining a constitutional democracy. The organization expressed confidence in a positive response from the Home Minister, highlighting his empathy for vulnerable sections of society, including scheduled tribes. In connection with the alleged fake encounter, a mass rally protesting against the alleged fake encounter was held across various Kuki-Zo settlements today. The rally, held under the aegis of Kuki Women Organizations for Human Rights and Mar Women Associations, was held at Lamka, Charichampur, Ziribam, Chandil District, and NC Hills in Assam. In Lamka, the protest rally begins at Mulvaipe ground at around 10 a.m. and concluded at the Wall of Remembrance site in Tuibung Peace Ground. The protesters held various placards such as Human Rights Matters, No to Fake Encounter, Justice for the Victims, Accountability for the Killers, etc. The protesters also demanded an independent judicial inquiry to the matter. Similar rallies were also taken out at Tingnopal and Zandil, where over hundreds of Kuki-Zo people participated, chanting various slogans, holding different placards. KWU and HR Tingnopal district condemns the encounter or extrajudicial killings of 3 Kuki-Zo youths on 16 July in Kachar district. On 16 July, 3 Kuki-Zo youths were killed in an encounter or extrajudicial killings in Kachar district, which has sparked widespread condemnations. In protest, a mass rally was organized by Tingnopal district unit of KWU and HR. Today, 11 a.m. at Tingnopal Community Hall. The program was attended by various leaders, including Kim Boy, Vice President of KWU and HR, Chosong, President of Tingnopal Block, and Song Boy, President of Tingnopal District. Other notable attendees included Kai Manguite, President of KIT, Kai Kolal Hokip, President of HTC, and Lai Boy Dongel, General Secretary of KWU and HR Tingnopal District. KWU and HR Tingnopal District Unit is pleased with a united rally protested, attended by the people, demonstrating their solidarity against the encounter or extrajudicial killings.
Good afternoon. This rally is jointly organized by Kuki Women Organization for Human Rights and Mar Women Organization. We have organized this rally to come in united and raise our voice together against extrajudiciary killing of our 3 brothers who belongs to a Kuki-Zo Mar community and by the Assam police, a section of Assam police. So we would like to raise the demand to the central government as well as to commission a special investigation team to constitute and to constitute against this judiciary actions that needed to be taken to bring justice to the deceased accused of our 3 brothers. The first accused is Mr. Lalbi Kung, he is 33 years old, and Joshua Lalrin Sang, he is 35 years old, and the other one is he is 21 years old. Okay, so
accused.
Yeah, these are the deceased accused, which today we are raising our voice for the injustice done against them.
Okay.
A memorandum was submitted to the DC and speeches were delivered by various leaders, including Tim Neo Vaipe, Vice President, External of KWU and HR Tingnopal District, and Ning Kim, Joint Secretary of KWU and HR Tingnopal District. The Union Budget 2024 has come under heavy criticism for completely ignoring the northeast state of Manipur. The presentations of the first budget of the Narendra Modi government third term by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Tuesday has sparked criticism for failing to address the plight of internally displaced persons, IDPs, in Manipur. Lok Sabha MP from Manipur, Angomcha Bimol Okoizam voiced his dissatisfaction, highlighting the omission. Absence name is Manipur. That's the budget speak. Nothing on flood and rehabilitation package for IDPs in the state, Manipur MP Okoizam said. In the Union Budget 2024, under irrigations and flood mitigations, the Union Finance Minister mentioned the flood that has occurred in Bihar, Assam, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Sikkim, and announced the center's assurance to provide assistance to these states. However, there was no mention of the devastating floods that affected strife-torn Manipur. The absence of any dedicated package for Manipur IDPs in the budget presentation, which marks Sitharaman's 7th consecutive budget, has drawn considerable criticism. Bimol Okoizam, who recently gained attention for his maiden speech in parliament addressing the Manipur crisis, expressed his disappointment over the exclusions of Manipur from the financial aid and rehabilitation plans laid out in the budget. The omission has raised concern among the affected communities in Manipur, who are struggling with the aftermath of floods and ongoing conflicts. India's defense industry clocked the highest ever defense export of $2.5 billion in financial year 2023 to 24 FY24, growing 25% from $2 billion in FY23, revealed the Economic Survey 2023 to 24 presented by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Monday in the Lok Sabha. Citing Ministry of Defense data, the survey has revealed that FY24's figure for export of military equipment and systems showed an over 12-fold growth compared to FY17's figure of $0.2 billion. Between 2015 and 2019, India held the distinctions of being the world's second largest arms importer. The narrative, however, has changed. India has transitioned from an arms importer and found a place in the list of the top 25 arms exporter nations, said the survey, aiding India's defense productions grew substantially from rupees 74,054 crore in FY17 to rupees 1,08,684 crore in FY23, boosting defense exports. According to latest MOD data, India's annual defense production hit a record high of almost rupees 1.27 trillion in FY24, up to 16.7% over the previous year's figure of about rupees 1.9 trillion. The survey critiqued tremendous effort by both the private sector and defense public sector undertakings for achieving the highest ever defense export. The other reasons for the jump in defense exports cited by the survey was that the number of export authorizations issued to defense exporters increased to rupees 1,507 in FY24 from 1,414 in FY23, clocking a growth of about 6.6% year-on-year. About 100 domestic companies are exporting a wide range of defense products and equipment, such as aircraft like Donner 228, artillery guns, BrahMos missiles, Pinaka rockets and launchers, radars, simulators, and armored vehicles, said the survey. The survey also said that over the past 10 years, the government has given defense export a push through several policy initiatives, including simplifying export procedures and making them industry-friendly, and reducing delays and facilitating ease of doing business through end-to-end online export authorization. The Atmanirbhar Bharat initiatives have helped the country by encouraging indigenous design, development, and manufacture of defense equipment, thereby reducing dependency on imports in the long run, aided the survey. The Economic Survey is an annual document presented by the center head of the Union Budget to review the state of the economy. Partaking in the discussions on Union Budget today in Rajya Sabha, a day after the presentations of the annual financial statement, Finance Minister refuted allegations of the opposition that the budget only had notable provisions for Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. Responding to the criticism of the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee that the budget had nothing for the state of West Bengal, the finance minister said several central schemes were not implemented in the state. Sitharaman also reminded that the Congress that budgetary speeches cannot mention all states. However, the finance minister reiterated that a closer look at the budgetary announcement will make it amply clear on how the budget addressed the concerns of all the states. Leaders of the opposition India bloc staged a protest inside parliament premises today, vehemently criticizing the Union Budget 2024 as discriminatory and demanding equitable treatment for all states. The opposition accused the government of favoring Bihar and Andhra Pradesh states governed by BJP's key allies whose support is crucial for the survival of National Democratic Alliance (NDA) government while neglecting others. Earlier in the morning, Mallikarjun Kharge, who along with the India Bloc MPs was staging a protest in the parliament premises, said that they were fighting against the anti-people budget. This budget is anti-people. No one has got justice. They have talked about special package, but special status has not been given. This is a deceptive budget, an injustice to the people, he said. The MPs raised placards as "We want India budget, not NDA budget," and "NDA betrays India in budget." Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav took a dig at the ruling dispensation, saying that they could not take any concrete step regarding inflation and instead of giving MSP to farmers, support price was given to the alliance partners who are saving their government. The Chief Justice of India stated, "Considering the expert assessment conducted by the team from IIT Delhi, we have full confidence in the accuracies of the identified option. Options 2 and 4 are mutually exclusive and cannot be correct simultaneously. We endorsed the IIT Delhi report, and as a result, the NTA is to revise the NEET UG results by confirming that Option 4 is the only correct answer to the questions. We have opted not to specify the questions number as it may differ based on the exam procedure in order to maintain the integrity of the process. The Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Delhi, has officially concluded that the correct answer to the content test question is option 4. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. During the hearing, the CGI questioned the timeline of the inaccuracies in the textbook used for the exam. The Solicitor General SG confirmed that the incorrect answer remained in the textbook until 2021. Now, according to previous marking schemes released by NTA, where marks were awarded for their incorrect answer that prevailed in the older NCERT books. However, as per the court's ruling, these marks will be deducted for 4 lakh students as they had answered these questions wrongly. Among these 4 lakh students, 44 of the 61 toppers had also marked the wrong answer for the question. Now, after the revised result, these students will lose 5 marks each, bringing down the toppers' number to 17. Vice President Kamala Harris opened up a marginal 2 percentage point lead over Republican Donald Trump after President Joe Biden ended his re-election campaign and passed the torch to her, a Reuters poll found. The poll conducted on Monday and Tuesday followed both the Republican National Conventions, where Trump on Thursday formally accepted his party's nominations, and the Biden announcement on Sunday he was leaving the race and endorsing Harris. Harris, whose campaign says she has secured the Democratic nominations, led Trump 44% to 42% in the national poll, a difference within the 3 percentage point margin of error. Harris and Trump were tied at 44% in July 15-16 poll, and Trump led by 1 percentage point in a July 1-2 poll, but within the same margin of error. While nationwide surveys give important signals of American support for political candidates, just a handful of competitive states typically tilt the balance in the U.S. Electoral College, which ultimately decides who wins the presidential elections. The most recent poll showed 56% of registered voters agreed with a statement that Harris, 59, was mentally sharp and able to deal with challenges, compared to 49% who said the same of Trump, 78. Only 22% of voters assessed Biden that way. Biden, 81, ended his re-election effort after the debate with Trump, in which he often stammered and failed to aggressively challenge attacks by Trump that included falsehoods. When voters in the survey were shown a hypothetical ballot that included independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy, J.R. Harris led Trump 42% to 38%, an advantage outside the margin of error. Kennedy, favored by 8% of voters in the poll, has yet to qualify for the ballot in many states ahead of the November 5 elections. The poll, which was conducted online, surveyed 1,241 U.S. adults nationwide, including 1,018 registered voters. In a tragic incident that has once again highlighted the perilous nature of aviation in Nepal, a small plane belonging to Saurya Airline carrying 19 passengers caught fire during takeoff in the capital city, Kathmandu, on Wednesday. The Civil Aviation Authority reported that the 9NAME CRJ-200 aircraft operated by Saurya Air crashed at 11 a.m. on Wednesday during its takeoff from Tribhuvan International Airport en route to Pokhara. Captain Mani Sakya, A-37, was rescued and transported to KPC Hospital, as confirmed by police. Unfortunately, all other passengers on board did not survive the crash. While immediate reports from the scene suggest that an investigation into the plane's crash has been launched, this incident adds to the alarming toll of fatal air crashes in the country, which has seen nearly 360 fatalities over the last 2 decades. Since the year 2000, there have been 19 significant air crashes in Nepal, the latest one marking the 20th. This further points out the dangers associated with flying in these mountainous nations. Nepal's geography presents formidable challenges for aviation, characterized by rugged terrain and unpredictable weather conditions. Many airports serve remote regions where flights are crucial due to lack of road access. However, due to limited investment in modern aircraft and infrastructure, as well as inadequate regulatory oversight, there have been major risks of crashes in the nations, which has further led to unfortunate history of aviation disasters. Recent high-profile accidents raise serious questions about the safety standard of domestic airlines. Looking back at the timeline of severe incident, the worst air disaster since 1992 occurred on January 15, 2023, when a twin-engine ATR-72 operated by Yeti Airlines crashed in Pokhara, resulting in the deaths of all 72 people on board. Other tragedies include a helicopter crash in July 2023 that claimed 6 lives, including 5 Mexican tourists, and a May 2022 crash that killed 22 people shortly after takeoff from Pokhara. The pattern of crashes over the years illustrates a troubling trend, with recurrent disasters including a crash of a Twin Otter aircraft in 2014 that killed 18. And another incident in 2016 that took the lives of 23 passengers between 2000 to 2010. Over 9 major plane crashes took place, killing over 110 people. The Nepalese aviation industry faces a challenge in cross borders, balancing the necessity of air travels with the heavy burdens of ensuring passenger safety in a landscape fraught with barriers. At least 229 people have died in mudslides after heavy rain in southwestern Ethiopia in the deadliest disaster recorded in the Horn of Africa country. Officials in Kancho, Sacha-Goji district on Tuesday warned that the death toll could rise further as local people use shovels and their bare hands to search for survivors. Most of the victims were rescue workers buried in a mudslide on Monday morning as they searched the steep terrain for survivors of another mudslide the previous day. Many people remained unaccounted for, say Marcos Melis, director of Disaster Response Agency in Gofa Zone. There are children who are hugging corpses, having lost their entire family, including mother, father, brother, and sister, due to accident, he told the Associated Press. Images posted on Facebook by the Golfa Zone authorities showed crowds standing on red soil and some using their bare hands to dig through it in rescue efforts. Moussa Faki Mohammed, the chairperson of African Union Commission, said, "Our hearts and prayers are with the families of the victims. We stand in strong solidarity with the people and the government of Ethiopia as rescue efforts continue to find the missing and assist the displaced," he wrote on X. Golfa Zone is a mountainous area in the South Ethiopia regional state. Seasonal rains between April and May in the state caused flooding, damaged infrastructure, and displaced more than 1,000 people, according to United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. In 2016, 41 people were killed in a mudslide after torrential rain in Walaita, another area in southern Ethiopia. Ethiopia and other Eastern African countries have become increasingly vulnerable to climate crisis, with the region experiencing changing onsets and durations of dry and wet seasons. Last November, unusually heavy rainfall in southern and eastern Ethiopia killed dozens of people and displaced hundreds of thousands. The treatment of people in New Zealand state and faith-based care institutions has been described as a national disgrace after a landmark report revealed that the harrowing scale of abuse to young children and adults suffered at the hands of those entrusted with their safety. New Zealand's Royal Commission into the abuse is by far the largest and most complex royal commissions of the country has held. Out of similar inquiries around the world, it had the widest scope. The independent investigations was put in motion in 2018 to reveal the extent and ongoing impact of abuse within the institutions designed to protect children. It primarily covered the period from 1950 to 1999, but those who had suffered abuse after 1999 also gave testimony. The final report, weighing 14 cases, was made public on Wednesday, marking the culminations of over 100 days of public hearings, nearly 3,000 testimonies gathered, and more than 1 million documents received in evidence. Survivors gathered in Parliament's public gallery to witness the report being tabled. The final report has taken 6 years, but for many of us, it has been a lifetime of trying to look for and seek redress, said Francis Tagaloa, who was sexually abused in Catholic-run institutions from the age of 5. State care survivor Kate Whiffen described the report's release as monumental. "I've been advocating for 22 years, and for most of that 22 years, it has been a fight," said Whiffen, who was placed in state care age 11 and experiencing ongoing sexual assault and psychological abuse. "This report is for us. It's explaining to the country the impact this subject has had on all of us." The inquiry estimated that 6,55,000 people who went through care institutions since the 1950s, roughly 2 lakh, were abused. The true number of survivors could be much higher, it said. It found sexual, physical, and emotional abuse, and neglect was widespread and systematic, resulting in significant trauma to the victims. Those who carried out the abuse included caregivers, religious leaders, social workers, and medical professionals. The inquiry found children at Lake Alice Psychiatric Hospital during the 1970s were subjected to torture through electric shocks and painful injections as punishment. The report presented testimonies of survivors. It looked at the impact of abuse and neglect on individuals and their families, as well as communities and society. That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.